Hey guys, wanted to go ahead and do a video here to talk about some inexpensive travel items. This was actually a question in Onebag Reddit. You know, what are some inexpensive items that you recommend for travel? Because, you know, in that channel, there's a lot of expensive things. So I'm going to go over what I think are pretty great and to go from there. All right, so the first one I want to talk about, this is the Chums wallet. Now, there's normally nothing here, but basically, what's great about this wallet is there's a clear area right here. This is one of the lightest, I would say, wallets that are out there. This is about $10. It has a coin pouch here. This can actually hold a lot. And this slot right here, when you open this, you basically put all your cards here. This is a great travel wallet, very inexpensive, and it holds a lot and only about $10. So I strongly recommend these. I'll go ahead and put this in the Jansport Mini pint bag. And as the time goes on, I'm just going to start throwing things in here. Second thing I want to talk about, this is the, let's go here. These were some scissors that were recommended in the ultralight community, but these are just handy scissors because you will not get pulled over by anyone in TSA or internationally because these are more of a blunt edge, but these cut through almost everything I need it to, and it does a great job. Very lightweight. This is like $5 or something like that. Very inexpensive. I definitely recommend it. Next item I want to talk about, this is the Travelambo coin pouch. You can find this for about $7. So what's great about this is that obviously it's a coin pouch. It looks actually also pretty sleek too. You put coins in here. You can also put earbuds in here. It has a nice feel to it. $7. I was surprised because there are other brands out there, like I would say like Tom Bin, that would have something like this and would charge like $80 for something like this. But this is like, you know, very inexpensive. $7, feels great, looks professional, and it's good for earbuds as well. So that's that. Next thing I want to talk about. So this is this is called the Pilot Birdy. So it is, you can find this for about $7. Model BS-440S-S. I'll go ahead and put the description in here. Just a really compact pen. It's kind of what I've been adding in my kit lately. So what I do is in my particular wallet, I just put it right here. It's very compact, and that's that. The next one I want to talk about here, it's called the Tasmanian TT card holder. It's around $15 or so. This is actually the lightest wallet, period. I'm not going to empty out everything out of here, but this is actually even lighter than the Chums card. And so I've been using this. It's not the most fanciest wallets, you know, but it is extremely lightweight and cheap, $15, and extremely compact. Very, doesn't take up much space at all. And I strongly recommend it. Okay. Next is, I want to talk about the Olight Mini 2 or something like that. I just think this is really cool because this is very inexpensive, maybe like $15 or so. And the way it works is you pop this open and it's light, right? And then you go ahead and pop it like that. That's just cool to me. Like, because most other flashlights, you have to twist it sometimes, or, you know, you press the button and it's a little bit longer. This is just more like you go like that. And, you know, it's just handy to have because it's just handy and it's cheap and it's cool. Also, at the tail end here, this is where you can charge the flashlight. I definitely recommend it. Really awesome thing here. Next thing I want to talk about here is the this is the Slice Mini. So if you ever felt compelled to bring a box cutter with you, this would probably be the way to go because the blade is really thin. It's ceramic, so it's not going to be detected by metal. But I wouldn't personally carry this on an airplane. This is just my favorite box cutter at home. I find these are better than all the box cutters I've used. And what's cool about this is that they say that this material lasts 6 times longer than metal. This is deceptively sharp. And this is pretty much my de facto box cutter that I use all the time. And so that's that. All right, next thing I want to talk about, these are the Uniball Vision Elite pens. I have the 0.5 pens. I strongly recommend these pens. I remember I was surprised at how inexpensive these pens are. You can get like a pack of 12 of these for like $12. But this is like really just writes so well. It's become my primary pen. And I've been using so many different pens. I definitely recommend this. Okay, next inexpensive item I want to talk about here is just 2 different kind of, I would say, bottle openers just to bring around. So this is the Niteize Doohicky. You could find this for like $9 or so. And then this is the Gerber Shard. Either or is pretty handy. Doesn't weigh much. but might be good if you need a bottle opener for some reason when you're in another country. So there's that. Another thing I want to talk about here, this is 32 degrees clothing that you can get from Costco. So they're kind of knockoffs of of Uniqlo. So Uniqlo has two different types of clothing. They have Airism, which is better for summer, and then they have Heat, which is better for winter. 32 degrees has their own knockoff versions of it. So they have 32 degrees cool, which is like a knockoff of Uniqlo Airism, and they have 32 degrees heat, which is a knockoff of the Uniqlo Heat. Often you can find boxes of these in Costco for like $15, and like it's just so useful. I mean, these are actually what I'm rocking these days when I travel. It's just so lightweight. So there's that. The other thing I want to talk about are, so these are the Victorinox, I would say, nail clippers. These are extremely compact, extremely lightweight. These are more lightweight than a standard nail clipper. Just as a point of reference, this is like a standard nail clipper. Like, see how thin that is, how large that is. But this is a lot lower in weight. The weight doesn't seem like it matters, but like it matters because all these little things add up in weight and add more to it. So this is definitely what I recommend. And the way it works is basically you pop up like this and then clamp, and then just go like that and close. So these are by Victorinox. Definitely recommend them. Next thing I want to recommend, these are, this is actually what I recommend to people in Onebag Reddit. This is the Sound Magic E10. This is a earbuds that are passive noise canceling. These are about $28. I've gifted these like 12 times. These are so great. Basically, it is a lot of people when they first start traveling, they have these big, huge like ear cans that they bring with them when they travel. And I always say, dude, I bet you these take up so little space, and these will sound better than those cans that you use when you travel. And they do. These sound really good. You know, it's funny. I was looking at reviews on YouTube on these. The last review I've seen on these are like from 12 years ago. It's like kind of like a lost relic. These sound amazing. I would even venture to say, like, I did some searches on Reddit and where I was saying what's better than a Sound Magic E10. And then I would notice that the people who made recommendations, like they would say like, oh, the Blonde or this Chinese brand or this Chinese brand. And I tried those. I'm like, no, this is actually better. Like these are better than even the stuff they have today. Like this is more of a V-shaped sound. So the bass is like just thumping. And the treble is like kind of like, you know, nice detail to it. It can sometimes, I would say, I think the bass that's done on this is really well done. It's like strong and powerful, but it's not overbearing, at least not to me. I actually feel, some people say like it feels a little bit blah, blah, blah. But in my opinion, I actually think they do the bass really well on this. And then, but I feel like the treble can be a little bit sharp at times. But other than that, I mean, I guarantee you that these headphones will be better than most of the heavy cans that most people bring. You know, this sounds a lot better than a lot of the consumer headphones out there, you know, and yeah. So that's that. The next thing I want to talk about is the Niteize. I would say you want to get the one that actually locks. So the way it works is like you see here, but when you click here, then it opens. The model, I'll go ahead and put the locking model in there, but it's just handy because you put keys in here and then it just locks. These are like $4. These are like really great. Next thing I want to talk about here is so Dickies socks, actually. Dickies socks no-show version. So it's funny because I know that people recommend like Darn Tough socks, but I actually find Darn Tough socks actually pretty uncomfortable because they're kind of tight for my feet. I don't know. I guess it's just too small for my feet. But then when I try, but these socks are a lot more comfortable. The other socks that people recommended were Belega Hidden Comfort. I bought like bunches of those socks, and then I eventually just got rid of them because those socks actually, because they're made out of pure polyester, they tend to smell as a day passes by. And you'll see here, I bought a bunch of Belega Hidden socks, and I don't have them anymore because they just smell bad. These, because they're part cotton, actually they don't have as much odor throughout the day. But as I said, these are actually more comfortable than I would say Darn Tough socks, you know, and these are way cheaper. You can get like 6 of these for like $10. Just make sure, this is important, that when you wash them, you wash them inside out. So you want to wash them inside out. And second of all, get the no-show version. For some reason, the standard version actually tends to pretty easily, but if you get the no-show version, they don't pill as bad. And for me, I find darker socks make it harder to see the pilling, so that's that. And then the other thing I want to talk about here, this is not necessarily what I would consider cheap. I would actually call this expensive, actually, but this is a particular anchor cable. You need to get this particular anchor cable. What you'll notice is just, I can't explain it. It's the way it feels. It's just like, it's so silly. But like, if you look at all the reviews of this particular cable, which is only like 300 reviews, they all like, it's soft, silky soft. It's soft. Everybody's saying, you got to get these. I would consider this inexpensive relative to like price, but I would consider this expensive relative to USB cables. Because USB cables are usually like $7, and this is like sometimes around $18, but you gotta feel it, man. I mean, just, they're great. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the JanSport Half Pint Mini. So this backpack here is actually kind of a joke backpack. It's actually meant for kids. But what I found is when you treat it like a pouch, right? So you basically, you put all the stuff in here and you treat it like a pouch. This is amazing when you put this underneath your seat on an airplane. It gets the job done. It actually doesn't weigh anything or practically nothing, and it has quite a bit of capacity. But if you treat it like a pouch underneath your airplane seat, it is perfect. So that's all I got to say. You guys have a great one. Okay, bye.